People are wrong about dividends, and here's why. And it's not what most people think. A lot of people think dividends are money-making machines which will allow you to quit your job and travel the world. Yes, it does, just not in the flashy way that you see from all those financial influencers. And by no means is it easily achieved. To be fair, if any influencer did get there purely by saving and investing diligently into dividend stocks, they are the real hustlers, and we should celebrate them. I have been living in Singapore on dividends I received from a portfolio that is less than $500,000, so it is possible. I am by no means rich, but I do not answer to a boss, nor need to wake up early to take the train to work. The thing about dividend investing is that there is a hard grind, but for a lot of people, it is definitely doable, and way more autopilot than a lot of other methods out there. So by the end of this video, I hope to give you my perspective on what people get wrong about dividends, and how to see it in a different light. Dividends are a hard grind, but what is not in life? It is true that dividend investing takes a lot of capital to replace your earned income. $1 million getting a 5% dividend return will net you $50,000 a year, or roughly $4,000 plus a month. Does that seem like a huge income? That depends on how much you are spending. If you keep your expenses down from $2,000 a month, a $4,000 a month dividend income is like a king's ransom. Don't believe that you can survive on $2,000 a month? It is possible. Just ask the average retiree in Singapore. According to the Department of Statistics Singapore, the average monthly household expenditure per member is around $1,986 in 2023, with the average household expenditure being $5,931. This means that a $1 million portfolio of dividend stocks returning 5% per year will allow a single person to live a normal life and have extra to spend how he sees fit. Either that, or he could feed a family by just topping up $2,000 a month. If $4,000 is the salary of a starting graduate, $2,000 could possibly be covered with part-time side hustles. Imagine being a single income household who works part-time to keep a household afloat. That would be a dream life of any father, I'm sure. I'll put the link to the Department of Statistics below for anyone who wants to see it for themselves. If you have the determination to get a $1 million portfolio of dividend stocks, you will do everything in your power to achieve it. Saving $2,000 a month is an incredible feat. But if you invest it into dividend stocks, there is nothing stopping you from reinvesting the dividends to get you to your $1 million faster than 40 years. If you can save $48,000 in 2 years, you are one heck of a savings machine, and well on your way to making that $1 million. In fact, the dividends you earn from that $48,000 would help you snowball your way to $1 million. It will be way slower than a crypto bro on the right side of the Bitcoin upswing, but if you are already a saver who can save to such extremes, crypto is probably too risky for your taste anyway. Assuming you save $2,000 a month or $24,000 a year, every year, and reinvest your dividends into the portfolio, you will hit $1 million around year 24. It does not take 40 years since there is compounding working on your side. Besides, you are likely going to continue to grow in your career, and you will be increasing your income either through a main job or side hustles, so saving that $24,000 a year will get easier over time. That means a person who starts work at 25 will have $1 million saved up by around age 49. That is also just right because companies will start to retrench workers around 50 years old, and another career switch is unlikely because of ageism. But you will have your nice $1 million generating around $4,000 a month, and even if retrenchment hits you, the dividends will be there to cushion you. Of course, there is nothing stopping you from increasing your contribution to your portfolio from $2,000 to a bigger amount if you have the means, and that will bring you to $1 million even faster than 25 years. All while working a good job, traveling once or twice a year in your late 20s or 30s, and still be ready for life's shocks in later years. Side hustles and growth stocks will earn you way more. Sure, but at what cost? Growth stocks are called growth stocks because their focus is to grow their stock price. Surprise! A lot of opinions I see like to quote the growth of companies like the Magnificent Seven, namely Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia and Tesla, and how they will outstrip the earnings of a dividend stock by going 100x, 1000x or gazillion-x, all while sipping Mai Tais at the beach. What they forget to tell you is how they got into Tesla on June 4th, See it drop 14% on June 5th. Panic sell their stake immediately only to see it rebound back to its original price around June 10th, leaving them only with heartache. Life is hard enough for most people. They need to work hard at their jobs to earn a living, and seeing stock prices jump like that has surely brought on a few heart attacks, literally and figuratively. Oh, I'm sure I can handle it. I would never panic sell, I heard you say. But Mike Tyson, a famous boxer, in case anyone is too young to know, said this: everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Ladies and gents, over the years I have been figuratively punched in the mouth many times, and what has kept me going is that dividend stock prices tend to stay mostly stable, through thick and thin. This has allowed me to live a relatively carefree life knowing that the stable dividend companies I invest in, like the CapitaLand series of REITs, is still going strong and has reliable and steady dividends coming in regularly. Note that this is not financial advice. Please do your due diligence when buying anything from the stock market. Selling stocks also require a bit of market timing, and it always feels painful to sell stocks. You will constantly be FOMO second guessing your choice, wondering if you are missing out on any upside. With dividend stocks, there's no such problem. The prices are so stable it is almost boring. This means you do not need to cut up your golden dividend goose, since it lays the golden dividend eggs consistently. I am okay with 2 to 3% less growth in the stock price, if it means I can sleep at night and be confident that my money is still working for me. Speaking of working, side hustles could also be potentially more lucrative than dividend stocks. So why not put your money into growing your side hustle instead and spend the money earned from the side hustle however you want? Well, there's nothing stopping you from investing a portion of your side hustle income back into dividend stocks and having that dividend power your side hustle in a circular engine. Cash is cash. How you use it is up to you. You could put money from the side hustle back into the side hustle, or blow it on custom G-Shock watches. Both are fine. Your life, your rules. But you know what allows me to decide on the watch rather than putting the money back into stocks? The fact that the dividend stocks I bought are going to be giving back to me again and again, regardless of how many watches I buy. That peace of mind is just magical. This peace of mind extends to other things as well, like peace of mind that money is coming whether I'm lying in a hotel or a hospital. Besides, who needs so many custom G-Shock watches anyway? Unless you're using it as an alternative investment, in which you could always funnel the proceeds from the watch sale back into more dividend stocks to fatten up your dividend goose. Dividend stocks are a set it and forget it passive income. That is only 90% true. Choosing stocks is pretty much an art form, and it can be painful if the stock you believed could be good for the long run tanks so hard it gets delisted. That being said, dividend stocks with a long company history and consistent record of paying ever-increasing dividends do exist, and once people get in, they rarely would want to ever get out. I have had that experience with various stocks over the years, and my best performing stocks were bought over 10 years ago. Their stock price did jump slowly over time, and so did their dividend. There were also times when I got into what I believed would be a good dividend company, only to see it tank before the first dividend was even paid. However, my experience was mostly positive, with most of my stocks, all in Singapore, delivering from 4 to 6% a year in dividend. And I'm able to live a carefree life. I look into the stock markets occasionally to make sure everything is on track, then I continue living my life as I please. I guess you could say I work on it about 20 hours or so a year. This allows me to spend time on sleeping late, playing games all day, or working on side hustles like this YouTube channel, or learning new skills and selling them as digital products. Links in the description. The dividend that comes to you belongs to you, in Singapore at least. When people say they like the growth in US stocks, they often forget that there is a thing called capital gains tax and dividend tax. That is one of the reasons why dividend investing is not really priced in the US. Who wants to pay the government 30% in withholding tax when receiving a dividend? Having capital gains and then borrowing against those stocks which have capital gains is the way they roll over there. But wouldn't borrowing from a bank with your stocks as collateral incur interest costs? I asked ChatGPT and it says that interest rates on loans backed by securities would typically be in the 7 to 10% range, while the capital gains tax rate is anywhere between 10 and 37%, depending on various factors. It is almost impossible to get such a loan in Singapore unless you are a high net worth client, which means you need to be at least a millionaire before you even get to see these loans being offered to you. If you are at the millionaire level, dividends will work even harder for you, and you're not even paying any interest on any loans. In Singapore, there is no capital gains or dividend taxes so far in 2025, so getting $1 from a dividend here means you could spend that $1 without fear, since it is wholly yours. So what is the best way to think about dividends? Dividend investing is a long grind, and it does involve a lot of discipline. For most people, it can be a slog to get to a figure that would replace their expenditure, and most people would not even make it that far. So what if you have $60,000 making only $3,000 in dividends a year? You just made $3,000 by parking your money into a company that has people working their butts off to get you that $3,000. All that by tapping on a phone app. You still have $60,000 parked with that company that can be retrieved at any time. And you have $3,000 more to do as you please. Is it a life-shattering amount? No. Would $3,000 help when you are sick in bed and unable to work? Definitely. There is less of a need to worry about roller coaster stock prices and no need to handle nasty side hustle customers. In fact, you are the nasty investor out to squeeze more dividends from the companies. So think of dividend investing like this: a way to park your cash that keeps growing year on year and can itself be a side hustle, which will eventually lead you to your financial goals. All this can be done while working a job, doing side hustles, investing in foreign markets, sleeping, eating, playing games, or watching YouTube.